Hello, TV takeaway readers, all five of you, all 5.5 of you that are probably viewing this. My name's Sam, and this is my friend Haley.
Hello.
And I have invited her over to talk to me a little bit and maybe ask me some questions about TV and writing in general. The idea is that this will be unscripted. I thought it would be fun. And later on, we're going to put it on the internet, and we're going to be famous.
We're going to put it on the line.
On the line.
It will go.
Yes, on the Twitter machine, on the Facebook.
On the tumbling.
On the tumbling,
on the tumble
hill. Yes.
It will go on the tumble hill.
And it will tumble all
like
over the internet.
Down the
We are not talking about writing right now.
What is the worst thing you think a scriptwriter can do to make a horrible movie besides cast ugly people?
Starting with a 5-page monologue might not be a good idea. Movies are visual. You want to get the action rolling, not so much talking. It's more doing.
So when writing a script to a show that you know nothing about, the technicalities, for instance, like House, right? There's a lot of medical terms. How do you go about doing that if you're not a doctor?
Well, I was reading something kind of interesting the other day about the show ER. The writers on that show, they're required to spend a certain amount of time, I think, like volunteering in a hospital, so they're really familiar with that environment. The guy who wrote the Hannibal Lecter books, he was like worked for the FBI or something, so he knows about that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was a killer.
Yes, he was a killer, and then it's autobiographical. He ate people, and then he wrote about it. That's not what happened.
A cannibal.
It's better to write about things you have experience with, and if you don't, then get experience. You know, you can do research. You can. I'm really bad about this. I write like high crime drama, and I know nothing about it. So the best thing to do is to research as much as you can. Definitely, if you're writing for an existing show, you need to have watched all the episodes. That's pretty much a given, so you know how kind of things work in that universe, and learn about how it works in real life with, like you said, House. So know some things about doctors. Call up your friends who are doctors, your friends' friends, your friends' friends' friends, and just learn as much as you can. Because even though your audience might not be doctors necessarily, they can kind of tell when you're faking it.
Now, why do you think shows die?
That's a good question.
Like Lost. Why did that show die? Couldn't they have written a few more episodes?
Well, I don't watch Lost, but I've been made to understand that it got very confusing and people were infuriated by it.
So was that the writer's fault?
Maybe this is just my bias as a writer, but I feel like the writers are kind of responsible for when, I mean, people, a lot of complaints on shows when they're on their last legs are that it's not original anymore and that the story is going in wrong directions, and that's kind of a writer thing.
Now, is killing off everybody lazy?
Oh gosh, such a good question. You know, killing people.
Like everybody, is that lazy?
You know, it depends on the context, I think, because that can be a cop-out.
What's that house? House in the wood? Cabin in the Woods. Everybody died.
Well, I think that for that's kind of a unique example because there was a little bit of like poking fun in that movie, so maybe what worked for that wouldn't work in general.
Let's talk about parody movies. Script writers, you know, they read. Is it mandatory that they read the script of the original movie? And if so, how do they decide scenes to make a parody?
Well, why would you not read the script of the original movie?
Well, I mean, you could just watch it, but you got to go deeper into it?
Yeah, I think it's really important to understand something, you know, be kind of obsessed with it in a way. I mean, if you look at, for example, this isn't a parody of a specific movie, but the Scream movies, where they kind of make fun of, like, horror tropes and stuff. What makes that movie so funny is that the writers just know the genre so well and know what to make fun of. So I think especially for the parody genre, if you're making fun of something, you need to understand it really well.
People take a lot of their time rating movies. R-rated, PG-13, PG. So, do script writers take that into account when they're writing the language of the script?
Yes, absolutely. It's important to figure out what your target audience is for a movie and base your rating on that.
So they already know about what rating they want.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that's really important. You've got to decide when you start out, am I writing a family movie? Am I writing something for teenagers? Am I writing something for like a really mature crowd? And you want to make your rating reflect that. You know, one thing is kind of interesting is that PG-13 movies, for instance, they can have swearing in them, but they can they're only allowed one use of the F word, or else they'll have an R rating. So it's interesting to me to watch certain PG-13 movies and see how they'll like use their one F word because they can't use anymore to get to a different rating.
Interesting. So how do scriptwriters combat this conception of, oh, you know, all the black people die first in a movie, or like a movie that has, you know, a lot of, you know, a full white cast, and people are saying, wow, there's no black people, there's no Mexican, it's all this race. Like, how do they combat that?
You know, a lot of that is not up to the scriptwriter, actually, but that's kind of up to the casting director more.
Because you have heard that, right? Where people have been...
Oh, yeah, whitewashing. It's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a big deal. I mean, one thing that writers do have a little more control over is maybe putting women in their script because there's not a lot of women main characters running around. So you can control that, maybe not so much the race thing.
Now, when writing it, do they essentially pick where the character, like the blocking, where they pause, when they breathe? Because when you read a play, you write, this person walks over here and grabs this, right?
Oh gosh, well there are all different schools of thought, but typically you only want to include what's important to the script. Yeah, right. You write what you need to write to tell the story. I mean, your job is not to tell the actors what to do. Your job is to tell the story.
Is sneezing okay to say someone sneezes, or is that too minuscule? Hiccups.
Can most people sneeze on cue?
Yeah. Fake sneeze.
Sneeze. Alright, well, why would somebody need to sneeze for a...
Well, okay, maybe there was somebody who you're about ready to divulge something really important, and somebody sneezed right at that moment, and then there was a knock at the door, so you never heard what that person said.
You know, that sounds a little bit too contrived, so I think just from a storytelling standpoint, I wouldn't recommend that.
I think it sounds like a very good idea.
You know, if you have an actor who can sneeze on cue, then I don't think I would do that personally.
Oh, okay.
Tell us what you think in the comments, because that's actually a conversation that needs to be had.
Would you want someone to sneeze on cue in your...
No, I would not.
You wouldn't?
No.
You wouldn't want
because that is a silly idea.
It's not a silly idea. If you have... if
you're gonna have people sneezing on cue when it's convenient for the plot for them to be sneezing on cue, then it might be nice to have them sneeze randomly at a couple of other times.
I think they should make it more human.
Yeah.
Because you're about ready to divulge who this murderer is, and
then a truck drives by!
And then some jerk sneezes, and you're like, shut up! Happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Like, have you ever been...
I can't tell you how many times I've been about to divulge who a murderer was, and some guy sneezes. I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me, personally. Maybe one day in the future I'll write a script that has sneezing. Maybe I'll write a script about a character who sneezes all the time, and it causes him to miss out on important things in life.
I bet you there's a movie.
I'll call it Sneezy. You can write that book. That can be your Camp NaNoWriMo project.
That can be my Camp NaNoWriMo project. Is write a book where the characters sneeze.
Yeah, it's coming up in a few days, guys. You need to be coming up with some stories for Camp NaNoWriMo. I expect to see you all there.
It's not a real camp.
It's not a real camp. It's online where you all live. Do you guys think the material is good? Let us know.
Everything's better in an accent.
I know I have a face for radio, but other than that, I think the video is pretty enjoyable, right? If you are in the San Marcos area this next week on Thursday, you should come to our creative writing workshop.
Which we will teach about books, not Kindles.
And we will
teach you how to creatively write, or write creatively. Alright, well, we thank you immensely.
Yeah, we thank you for watching this video.
We wonder if you stayed the whole time, though.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna cut some stuff out.
Yeah, don't cut this out. I kind of like this angle on me. Don't cut this part out.
Yeah, I'll definitely cut that part out because you look hideous.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding. So, I know things have been slow on the blog lately, but I will be posting some stuff in the coming weeks, definitely, because I'm being graded on it. And... yeah, hopefully we'll be getting some quality content in. Or content of some kind. Yeah.
Sneezing, no sneezing. Think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. There you have it.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Adios. Cheerio.